Okay, welcome to playableguitar.com. Little review here. Let's just make sure we know about left and right-handed. The shortcut here is if the thin strings are on your right, you have a right-handed guitar. If the thin strings are on your left, you have a left-handed guitar. And the diagrams work the same way. So just like we had an E chord diagram in the last video, you can see the difference here. And you just keep those fat strings and those thin strings oriented and you can't go wrong. Whichever angle you're looking at the guitar from, if you realize the dots, just like in chord diagrams, are representing finger positions, scale diagrams work the same way. So whichever way you put the guitar, it's like imagining that piece of paper or that book sitting right on top of the neck and lining up with the strings and the frets, keeping the thin strings and the fat strings oriented in your mind's eye, and it all starts to come together. So it doesn't matter which way you're looking at it, which way you rotate it, turn it, twist it. If you just realize that all you're doing is superimposing this diagram on top of the neck, keeping the thin and the fat strings oriented. Doesn't matter if it's horizontal or vertical, just imagine what you would do with the piece of paper, the same thing you do with the guitar. So let's have a look at this pentatonic scale in action.
Pentatonic scale, just you can look it up on the internet or ask your mates what already do it. It's just a third fret, open, third fret, open, second fret, open, second fret, open, second fret, open. It's just these are the same string, third fret, open. That's all you got to know. You get two fingers.
You'll see some scale patterns written vertically like that, but most of the time scales take up more than 3 frets, so you'll usually see them presented horizontally. A fretboard diagram, a scale diagram, is really just a representation of the neck itself. It might be a part of the neck or the whole neck. It may not be exactly looking like your own guitar, but that's all it is. It's just a picture of the neck or a representation of it in some sort of graphic form. Here's a G major scale. Right, those annoying hesitations and gaps are there for a reason, because this diagram is only showing us where the notes are in the scale, not what order or when to play them, just where they are. There's a lot of other information that we can fit onto this as well, like your fingering, finger allocation, where the root note is, the root note location, the scale tone function, how it works in the scale, the letter name of the pitch, the sol fa syllable, how it works in a chord. This can all be fit on a scale diagram. We're going to concentrate on these top two, the finger allocation or fingering and the root note location. If we put numbers on these dots, you can see that your fingers can then be allocated to where you want to play the notes. Okay, use this next section to stop, rewind, and review, and look at this several times. It's got examples of notation, it's got the close-up fingerings in video form, and it's got the scale diagram. So just watch it a few times till it starts to make sense, and it should all click together. Okay, so there's a lot of information here. If any of the terms and the vocabulary doesn't make sense, just go back, use other internet resources, go back through the website and other articles, and hopefully